You're listening to the Traffic and Conversion Show. I'm your host, Michelle Fernandez, and today we are talking the power of chatbots and AI and customer engagement. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. It's Michelle. I am heading into a crazy travel season coming up next week. I am heading out to Orlando for Funnel Hacking Live. Then the week after, I'm heading to Denver for my mastermind retreat. And then a couple of weeks after that, I'm heading to Dallas for the Level Up Summit, which is a high level event. So I am entering into the season of learning, seeing what's working now, what cool stuff is coming out, learning new strategies, meeting new people, strengthening my current relationships. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. What are you doing? It seems to be like this is the season for all the things. So what do you do, or what do you have planned to do to sharpen your tools, right? To develop your skill set. Now, in order for me to travel so much and my business still run while I'm away, I built a few things and put them in place to make sure that I will never, ever, ever, ever repeat what I used to do when I would go to these events. And that was waking up like 3 hours before the sun came up to do client work. Then during the event, it was like in and out of the event to hop on Zoom calls, check emails, right? And let me just tell you, if you've ever been to any of these huge events, they're at these convention centers, right? So your hotel room is, I think, honestly, it's like a mile away from where the actual convention center is. So running back and forth is no joke, right? I would miss out on those networking events and head back to my room and stay up late to finish doing client works. I was literally like, did I even absorb any of the information there? It was like very intense, and my mind was just like, I would come home and need a vacation from the vacation, right? And it wasn't even a vacation. I would need a vacation from just all the learning and the running around, right? And I really never got a break because it would be, okay, it's Monday, time to go right back in, right? Well, what happened? I built amazing systems that allowed anyone with the skills, they can follow to the standards that I set for myself. I hired an amazingly talented team and put automation in wherever I could possible. Now, my business model, as it currently stands, does not have the use for chatbots. However, many of my clients' business models do. So I've been working very closely with and kind of built out some of it for them. I've been working closely with the contractors that built out, and I watched what it does for the team's time and the business's revenue. And it's like, wow, okay? It's really transformed the landscape of the customer engagement. So let's uncover the incredible potential of chatbots to enhance customer interactions and drive businesses' success. Now, did you know that the history of chatbots is a fascinating journey that spans several decades? So as you know, I do all my research before every episode. So I thought I wanted to share because I thought it was a very recent thing that came out, and come to find out it wasn't. So here's a bit of fun facts for you. Okay, the first notable chatbot was Eliza, and it was created in the mid-1960s by Joseph Weizenbaum at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, right? Eliza was designed to simulate a psychotherapist and could engage in simple text-based conversations with its users. And Eliza worked by using pattern matching techniques to respond to specific keywords in the user input. Now, in the early 1970s, Terry Winograd developed I don't know how to pronounce it, the SHRDLU, which was a program that could understand and manipulate blocks in a virtual world. So these early chatbots were largely limited to specific domains and use rule-based systems for interaction. And as computing power and natural language progressing, or NLP, techniques advanced, chatbots became more sophisticated, but then they still had those limitations. So, fast forward to the late 1990s, Dr. Richard Wallace created ALICE, which stood for the Artificial Linguistic Internet Computer Entity, which is a chat box designed for general conversation. So, ALICE used AIML, which is Artificial Intelligence Markup Language, to define its conversational responses. With the rise of the internet and commercial interest in chatbots, companies started developing bots for customer service and information retrieval. So now we head into the 2010s. We saw significant advancements in natural language processing and artificial intelligence, driven by learning techniques such as neural works. Now, Apple introduced Siri in 2011. Can you believe it's been that long? Bringing these voice activated virtual assistants to the mainstream, right? To mainstream mobile devices. And now look, they're even on our other kind of devices too, right? Our desktops even. So messaging platforms like Facebook Messenger and Slack integrated chatbots for various tasks from customer support to news delivery, okay? Then Google, their Duplex introduced in 2018, demonstrated a highly advanced chat box that could make natural sounding phone calls to schedule appointments. Then you have OpenAI's GPT, which is, did you know what GPT stands for? Because I didn't. It's Generative Pre-trained Transformer. So they instituted these models, including GPT-3, which marked a major milestone in chatbot development, enabling more coherent and contextually relevant conversations. So now in the early 2020s, chatbots continue to become more integrated into our daily life with applications in education, healthcare, finance, and probably 1,000 other things, right? Chatbots are increasingly capable of understanding context, emotions, and nuances in conversations. Personal virtual assistants like Amazon's Alexa, Google Assistant, and Apple Siri are becoming central to smart homes and devices, providing seamless voice-based interactions. The evolution of chatbots is expected to continue with more emphasis on this multi-module interactions, right? Combining text, voice, and some visual endpoints as well. Pretty cool, right? There are some pretty dang smart people in this world. And as I was doing this research in my mind, I don't know if any of you know what the Jetsons are, but I like relate this to what the Jetsons was, like predicting our future, all these future science movies. I feel like, oh my gosh, it's all coming to real life, right? Now, before we dive into the power of chatbots and customer engagement, let's talk about the power of chatbots and the impact on our business efficiency. So number one, right, because we're always looking at the bottom line, okay, and profitability. So how can we integrate some of this stuff within our processes and our systems to help with our bottom line? Now, the first one is obviously cost saving. So implementing chatbots can significantly reduce customer service costs. IBM reported that businesses can save up to 30% in customer support costs by using these chatbots. So where might you be putting these chatbots in your customer service, depending on your business model? Number two is scalability. We talk about this all the time, right? We're creating this predictable growth. So chatbots can handle multiple conversations simultaneously, enabling businesses to scale their customer support without needing to hire additional staff. So that's crazy cool. And although we're talking about customer support, this could also go into your marketing, right? So where might you put some of this stuff even in your marketing so you can get to more people at a greater scale? The other one is a faster issue resolution. Now, we all know that we have customer service issues or people have questions. So how can we answer those faster? A study by Aspect Software found that 71% of consumers want the ability to solve most customer issues on their own. Chatbots can quickly provide solutions, reducing the need for lengthy interactions with human agents. So what might you put in place to maybe answer some of these, right? Or what kind of softwares do you see? Have you, this is a good question, have you evaluated how much time your team is spending on these customer service responses? And then you can evaluate, is this something we need and how might we put this in place? All right. Data collection and analysis. Ooh, don't you know I love this one? So chatbots can collect data on customer interactions, preferences, and pain points. Now, this data can be used for analysis, leading to better informed business decisions and improved products and services. And then the last one is consistent customer experience. So chatbots provide a standardized level of service, ensuring that customers receive consistent information and assistance regardless of the time of day or specific agent they're interacting with. So one of my clients had a conversation with one of their team members where it was kind of like they had the policies written out. They had the procedures step by step. However, they found that they were like, oh, this one's not that important. I'll just skip it, right? Because that's what humans do. They take the easier way sometimes, or they're like, oh, that's really not important. However, it could be important to you as a business. When you have the chatbot in place, there is no circumventing anything. It's like, no, they follow down the line, follow the rules and those standards, those values that your company has based on what you feel that your customer deserves. Right? Now, we cannot overlook the impact they have on customer satisfaction, right? So the higher response speed, did you know that according to a study by HubSpot, 90% of customers rate an immediate response as an important or very important when they have a customer service question? Chatbots can provide instant responses, contributing to higher customer satisfaction. Now, this was something that when I was working my 9 to 5 and I was learning this new skill set, I would pretty much work on my business in the evenings or on the weekends. And let's just say I couldn't get a login, or I had a question or something wasn't being released to me. I would have to wait till the next week or the next day to get the response back from customer service. So what does that look like for you? And what are your customers' needs? And what could you put in place that maybe could be an easy response that could be triggered, so they can get moving and get those wins, to take those actions and not put it off, right? And get discouraged like, oh, now I got to wait till tomorrow, or, oh, tomorrow night the kids have something, right? I can't get to this. The other cool thing is the 24/7 availability. It's kind of in line with that, right? So a survey by Drift found that 82% of consumers expect an immediate response from brands, even outside the business hours. This is kind of what I was just talking about. Chatbots can operate 24/7, ensuring customers' queries are addressed promptly, right? Personalized interactions. Now, chatbots can use data to offer personalized recommendations and responses. A Salesforce study reported that 64% of consumers and 80% of business buyers expect companies to tailor interactions based on their individual needs. So what does this look like? So if based on what the information that they gathered, let's just say a shopping experience, you see it all the time. Like either those who bought this also bought this, or because you bought this, you might be interested in this, right? So what does that look like for your business? And then, of course, we have reduced wait times. According to a study by the Business Insider, the average time a customer spends waiting on hold is around 10 to 20 minutes. That's a long time, right? Well, chatbots help reduce or eliminated wait times, leading to improved customer satisfaction. So this is all great once you actually get the customer. So let's circle back to the power of chatbots and potential customer engagement. Remember, engagement is how we acquire and retain customers, right? Because it's all about top of funnel, right? We're making the connection, then we're building relationships, and the relationship part is the engagement. So once we start that relationship, we continue it way through their transformation, on, just forever, right? Our goal is for them to be a lifer, okay? So let's go back to scalability. Chatbots can handle multiple conversations simultaneously, ensuring that no prospect or customer is left waiting. So scalability ensures a high level of engagement even during your peak periods, even during the weekends, or even while you're at a conference, right? Or an event, or you're facilitating something for your customers as well. Consistent interactions. Chatbots deliver consistent responses and experience to all customers, ensuring that Every interaction aligns with the brand's tone and message. This consistency helps build that trust and familiarity with your customers or your prospects. Okay. So, interacting and engaging. Chatbots can be designed to engage prospects or customers through interactive and entertaining conversations. This approach helps keep customers engaged and interested in the conversation, even when dealing with routine inquiries. So I just wanted to remind you that you set up what goes on in these chat boxes, right? You set the tone. So it sounds like you. So it sounds like your brand. So you are on point. So however you are encouraging your customers to come through, that's what we're looking to do. Okay. Then multi-channel interaction. So these chatbots can be integrated with various messaging platforms, websites, and apps, allowing these customers or leads or prospects to engage with the business through their preferred channels, right? This multi-channel approach increases engagement opportunities. I mean, think about it. If you just have something on Instagram, but someone's over on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, right? Where are you missing opportunities because this is like a high engagement activity? You're like, oh, I don't have the time to do all the things. This can help out, right? And even more so, then you look at your data and you're like, okay, where are these people responding on? Where do I need to get support to then go to this new platform and then take over with the human engagement or get them to book a call or whatever the situation is, right? Okay, lead gen and qualification. So this is really great when it comes to lead gen, because chatbots can, number one, initiate the conversation and gather information from customers, acting like this virtual sales assistant, right? So this engagement helps qualify leads and move potential customers further down the sales funnel. And what I love about this, it kind of leads into this next part, which is lead nurturing. So you can identify the qualified, right? So let's say you have a few questions that you're trying to qualify, or they need to qualify in order to work with you, right? Then let's say they don't answer whatever the answer is, then it moves into nurturing. So these chatbots can guide potential customers through the decision-making process to prevent relevant information and addressing concerns. Or what happens is the nurturing could maybe guide them down this other path to get them ready to then become a qualified customer. Make sense? Or qualified prospect, I should say. And what I love about the nurturing approach, it just builds stronger customer relationships, right? Because you're still going to be providing value. They're still going to see, oh my gosh, she's so great. I didn't even buy anything from her. And yet she's still sending me this information. Now I'm going to start referring people to find them too. Okay. And then lastly is the reduce abandonment rates or abandoned cart. So in e-commerce, chatbots can assist customers during the purchase process, reducing cart abandonment rates by addressing concerns and facilitating transactions. And I do say e-com, but remember, there could be people that maybe if you have like an SLO, or maybe you did a webinar, a live webinar challenge or something, and then you had a VIP experience and they passed you up on the VIP. Well, the chat box can be like, hey, I'm so glad you got in. Did you check out the VIP? And then so you can get them in on the abandoned carts there as well. So that is always pretty cool, because that's where you're leaving money on the table, right? Okay, so in the last episode 227, I talked about scaling to 7 figures and beyond, those advanced growth hacks for thriving online businesses. So if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely go back and check it out, because there are some great strategies in there. And adding in chatbots is a huge advanced growth hack to implement. Most of what I do is to identify where the gaps are in your funnels, right? And strategize on ways to optimize and scale those funnels. The chatbots can assist in both of those. All right, let's wrap this up with the 5 best practices to ensure that they get the most out of the technologies and create exceptional customer experiences. So practice number 1. So these are practices. So one thing I learned a long time ago, and you might be like, Avi, Michelle, right? Is the reason why doctors say it's a practice is because with medicine, there's no real answer, right? We're just practicing and we're trying to improve. I look at it as we're the same way, right? I call it a detective where we're trying to find the culprit, right? So we're practicing on getting better and better. So the practice number one is always understanding your audience, right? The importance of customer segmentation and persona development is key. That's the reason most marketing programs start off with really understanding your audience, right? Interests and behaviors. And a lot of people are like, oh, I did this in my last program. Oh, I know this, right? You already know what my answer is going to be. You need to be looking at this constantly because, especially in today's world, I feel like everything is constantly changing, right? I was just talking to somebody yesterday where it's like, okay, two people I was talking to. One, their life changed because their son started school, right? Started first kindergarten, right? Then I talked to somebody else who they were getting ready for their kids to go to college. So huge changes in their life. Are they the same person? Do they have the same problems and need? Yes. However, now you're having different things thrown in, right? So you need to understand how this is going and how this is working for your messaging. Now, when we're looking at the interests and behaviors, those could also shift, right? So you have one is like maybe how to be a parent or how to, facilitate my child starting school and homework and all that good stuff. And then you have an empty nester and how am I dealing that? So now some of those interests or where they're hanging out might change, right? So those are kind of things that you have to keep in mind and be like, oh, do I care if they're empty nester? You have to think about these things, okay? So this will allow AI to assist in analyzing customer data to personalize those interactions. And it's all about effectively tailored their chatbot interactions into different customer segments, just like we would do with our emails, okay? So practice number two is designing intuitive user experience. Now, the role of user-centered design and crafting seamless chatbox interactions, we're talking about defining clear paths, use plain language to and avoid that jargon, right? Offer multiple response options. Why? Because if, for example, you have something where maybe you're answering a comment in like comment the word, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you've seen that all the time. Well, if every response is the same, then number one, they're going to catch on to you. They're going to be like, oh, this is a bot, right? Am I really ever going to talk to her? Where if you switch it up, then it's going to be like, oh, yeah, this person is, because honestly, as a human, you can only come up with so many different variations, even if you wanted to. So that's just kind of like pro tip. Practice three is balancing automation and the human touch. So even though we want to be constantly improving response times and efficiency, and no automation is key to do this, we can't allow these computers to totally take over our human connection, right? Human intervention is invaluable when addressing complex inquiries as it draws on like a new level, right? Or a different understanding and expertise that may basically the AIs, they're going to struggle to grasp that. Additionally, in emotional customer queries, human agents offer empathy and personalized support, fostering really genuine connections and building trust that can be challenging for the AI to replicate. So if anybody's like, oh my gosh, AI is taking over the world, no, we still need our humans. We still need live connection. You just need to figure out when is that time or what would trigger an email to an actual human, someone on your team, or when in the process does a human actually take over. We were talking about this yesterday on a call with one of my clients where they were like, okay, when does this person come in? And they identified that when they comment in whatever, and then they answer this, then they're going to come in, open the conversation and deliver the value. Okay. So you have to just decide, what does that look like for you? Practice number 4 is continuously improving with data analytics. I had to throw this one in because everything in your business should be based off data, and leveraging AI to gather and analyze customer interaction data makes it so much easier. These data analytics empower organizations or businesses to uncover patterns and trends and the user interactions, enabling them to identify common pain points or areas of confusion. It's like, wait a minute. Why does everybody keep asking this question? Like, why are we making it so confusing? Let's go back in, clear it up, right? And then see what happens. Maybe that question will just go away, all right? So by leveraging these insights, the chatbot responses can be refined and optimized to provide more accurate and relevant information, leading to improved user satisfaction and smoother interactions, okay? Practice number 5 is ensuring ethical AI and data privacy. Now, the ethical considerations surrounding AI-powered customer engagement. This is a little like, ooh, what do we do, right? Well, we know that there's probably a ton of things or somebody to go to attorney-wise, but we just want to make sure data privacy is key. Like, we are the ones that are responsible, and we are like the I forget the word, but we like own this data and we need to protect it with everything. Okay, so to ensure data privacy and transparency and chat box interaction, businesses can implement robust encryption measures to safeguard user information and adopt strict data retention policies, right? So this could mean with the chatbot service that you provide, as well as your own internal privacy information. What is that system? You should have one right now, whether you're using chatbots or not. Everyone has a privacy policy on their website. The question is, does your entire team, including yourself, know what's in there? And do you know what to do or not to do with that data? Do you know where the data is housed? Do you know how many people have access? Do you know who has access? What if somebody on your team or a contractor, or anybody else? All these things come into play, and it's super duper important with these privacy laws, right? Because you are the one that said, yes, I'm going to protect your information, okay? Also, providing clear and concise privacy statements at the beginning of these interactions, along with any opt-out options, right? Opt-out options is super important. So if I said, hey, I don't want you to send me anything, I want out, is like, do you and your team know what that means? What are you doing to get them out? Right? When you're opting out, it's like, no, we need to get rid of all your information, okay? And it informs user about data usages, instilling confidence and maintaining control over their personal information. This is vital to your business, okay? All right, I hope that you gained valuable insights into the world of chatbots, AI, and customer engagement, and how it can work for your business. Like, what can you implement today? And or what can you be working towards in the years to come? And remember, as technology evolves, the key is to harness its power responsibly to create meaningful connections with your customers. All right, I appreciate you so much for being here with me today. Until next time, let's grow your business together.